The average American adult watches 4.5 hours of broadcast television per day, which doesn't include streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, or HBO Now, and about 50% of Americans have a subscription to one of those services. Television is part of what we talk about, what we think about, but how does it influence our perceptions? Our perceptions about places we've never been, or more importantly, our perceptions of people. When was the last time you recommended a television show to your friend, or discussed something you saw on TV? Our everyday lives are influenced by what we watch on television, and in turn, television is based in reality and influenced by people. This creates a feedback loop where television is often a reflection of people's opinions and sentiments, and what we choose to watch reinforces our own opinions. The 2008 hit show Breaking Bad is just one example of how powerful and influential television shows can be. The story is about Walter White, a high school chemistry teacher who, after being diagnosed with terminal cancer, begins producing and selling methamphetamines. Walter's transition into a life of crime takes place in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and the city of Albuquerque itself has become famous.
Breaking Bad put Albuquerque on the map.
It's Albuquerque's show.
People didn't even know how to spell Albuquerque before Breaking Bad.
Now, a local company offers tours of locations of Breaking Bad, and fans can ride along in a replica of the RV that Walter and his accomplice Jesse cooked meth in. The business is booming, with the majority of visitors coming from out of state.
1,050 people took our tour over the last 3 months, 85% of which were from out of the state. These guests traveled specifically to tour Breaking Bad, 37% of which represented international travelers.
But there is a concern that the show has created a perception of the city, and Albuquerque is associated with drug trafficking and methamphetamines. The show was almost not made in Albuquerque because of that concern.
When I first read the Breaking Bad script, I thought, this is amazing. It has to be filmed here. I called Sunny and asked if it could be written as a fictional city in the Southwest, and they said, no, we want to embrace Albuquerque. So I went to talk to the mayor, Marty Chavez at the time, and told him the concept, and he said, are you serious? A show about cancer and meth?
Like every city, Albuquerque has its problems. The creator of Breaking Bad, Vince Gilligan, once wrote, and like Walt, there are two sides to Albuquerque, light and dark. The city is full of friendly people and surrounded by an abundance of stark natural beauty. It also contains places you'd best not roam at night.
I've never seen the show Breaking Bad, but when I first moved here from California, everyone was really nervous for me and thought it would be dangerous. I don't think it's that bad.
Breaking Bad has been extremely beneficial for the city of Albuquerque. During the first season, each episode brought in roughly $1.5 million to the city, and its legacy has done wonders for Albuquerque tourism and businesses. On the other hand, Albuquerque has become associated with meth. Even though that's not what the show is truly about, it's about a man's struggle and decay, but it's also important to consider, how does Breaking Bad affect the people of New Mexico? 48.8% of New Mexico's population is Hispanic, which is one of the largest Hispanic populations in the United States. So let's break down Breaking Bad characters and see how Hispanic populations are represented in the show. The majority of leading characters who are central cast members with regular, reoccurring roles are white males, while the majority of Hispanic roles are minor, like the Salamanca twins, or their violent and unpredictable cousin, Tuco. There is positive Hispanic representation in Breaking Bad. Steve Gomez, played by Stephen Michael Quesada, is a Drug Enforcement Administration agent. But Steve is a minor character, and was a sidekick to a main character, Hank Schrader. This is a trend throughout television, where Hispanic characters are either criminals or have very minor roles. After the popularity of Breaking Bad, there have been many shows created about drug trafficking. When watching these television shows, it's important to consider how Hispanics are represented in the media as a whole. Although Hispanics represent 18% of the population in the United States and account for 24% of ticket sales of films, they only appear in 3.1% of speaking roles in films between 2007 and 2016. From a sample of 40 random television shows, a study by the Opportunity Agenda found that 50%, or 4 out of 8 Latino immigrant characters, were represented as criminals committing unlawful acts in television shows. This included drug dealing, human trafficking, and murder. The constant representation of Hispanic populations as criminals reinforces negative stereotypes and misconceptions. This can be particularly harmful to immigrants from Latin America. In a study by the Cato Institute looking at conviction data in Texas, both documented and undocumented persons had lower criminal and homicidal conviction rates than native-born residents. But still, there's a fear of immigrant populations in the United States. When television shows label immigrants from Latin America as villains and criminals, it dehumanizes them. It makes it easier to say hateful things, or mistreat them, to separate children from their parents at the border. We live in a golden age of television, in which more complex stories are being told. But it is important to always think about what you are watching. Think about who are the main characters, how are minorities represented. Not all minority characters have to be the good guys, but they should have more leading roles and character development. Breaking Bad demonstrates how powerful television shows can be. As the landscape of television changes, that power should be used to create more diverse depictions of minority characters.